Okay, what up, guys? Well, it's been a long while. This is Forex Success Academy. So today I want to be taking a breakdown of this GBPJPY with you guys. My view on GBPJPY for the week. It is last week of September also. So we're gonna be doing our top down analysis right here. So starting from the monthly time frame, let's see what has been happening on GBPJPY. Right here. So on the monthly time frame, what do you want to do here? You want to map out levels, right? You want to map out key support and resistance levels, right? So you can see I already have a line right here. All right. So now there is this resistance area, which you can see here that price has already taken out, right? Price has already taken out, taking this area out, this resistance area. Then what next do we have here? Then we have this key support right here. So just these three lines is what we need on the monthly time frame, right? And then looking at this, although JPY for the year has been choppy, right? Has been choppy. This is just let me map this out. All right, this is since this year. Can I see that has been choppy? It hasn't really made some kind of move. But looking at it, you see that we are bullish, right? Not minding that it has not been that volatile as it used to be, right? I know GBPJPY of 2022, 2023 when I started trading. So now next thing we want to do is to check the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly, we want to see possible close support and resistance zone that we want to map out or stay adjust. But looking at this, I feel like the weekly stay aligned with the daily. Or you might still need to map this out. This is the last high price of made there. After price took out this resistance, after breaking out this resistance area, this is the last high it made, and then it started to push to the downside, right? So you need to map this out because whenever you take a buy and come all the way right here, there should be some kind of resistance to pull back price back. So we need to map this line. Now, next time frame we are going into should be the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we consider both the candle patterns and chart patterns as well. But I do more of the candle patterns. Now, what am I talking about? Looking at this uh, on the daily time frame, what do you see here? You see that there is this bearish candle. I see this bearish engulfing candle, right? So this actually might signal some kind of bearish momentum. Now, but another thing I want to check out is where is this what do you call it movement starting from? Where is it reacting from? Is there any strong level there that might cause price to sell either for a long time or for a short period of time? So now what we do is just put a line at this last high price I've made. Put a line, a horizontal line at this last high price I've made right here. And then scale down to 4 hours to see if there is a strong resistance there, which is likely causing price to cool down either for the meantime or might go a very long way. And then what do you see? You can see right there that there is this resistance right here from this low. You can see the movement. Yeah, see price resisted, it made equal highs here, dropped down, but it's eventually took it out, demanded there, and then push all the way to the upside. So what does that tell you? That tells you that this is a turning point, right? That tells you that this line it becomes a turning point for the market. So you can see price came all the way down here again. Okay, took it out straight up. And then in that time, has it had a touch of it again? No, until this current market price. Doesn't have a touch of it again until this current market price. So that entails that there is likely possibility for price to sell for a period of time, right? But we will find out then. We will find that we will then find out. Hold on. So right here, see here on this 4 hours, we can see there is resistance support here. What I mean is that there is this resistance zone here, which price just newly took out, right? So that actually might still serve as a turning point for price to reverse to the upside. So now, how do we know which to work with? How do we know the bias for the week now? Is what you're gonna look at from the 4 hours. Now, from the 4 hours view, you can see right here that price made, like I said, the price made this low, then gave us a break of structure. You can see it's broke structure right here, right? Now gave a pullback and then another push to the upside before it started reacting out. So there's a possibility of the sell that price needed to make here is done doing it because price had tested the resistance turning to support area. Do you understand? So now what we want to check is, so what we want to check now is where do you have a possible order block that is unmitigated? So that is what we are gonna do multiple time frame analysis. You want to check this current market price or maybe slightly below it. Where do you have any possible demand zone for the market to buy? You understand? So right here, looking on 4 hours, I can't see any other block right here that is unmitigated. So I will check my 2 hours. Okay. 5 minutes. All right. So I think I can see one right here. I see this other block right here. This is a zone. Now, this is just mapping out the turning points for me, right? But the only reason I would like take a bet because you're looking for the weekly bias where price is moving for the week for the longest, you understand? And I had we know that. Now looking at this from this view now that we're able to figure out this other block. Now I can see it still aligns with this our resistance line, this line right here, still aligns with this. Now we want to study the structure. Right here, we had a break of structure, right? Now we had price to give the first pullback, right? Right here, external pullback. So what does that tell you? This might likely be an inducement, right? Because during the week, during this past week, a lot of traders started to buy. Even myself, I tried to pick a buy somewhere here, and what happened? It failed. So this is an inducement. So the inducement actually gave a proper break right here. So looking at this structure, we can see price to have maintained higher highs, higher highs, and then coming higher lows. Just that some kind of liquidity needs to be taken out right here. That is why this was validated. So What they are looking out for here is to see price come to this demand zone right here. And then you go for a long. But then this kind of trade, you're gonna be using a confirmation entry. So you're targeting the size. So when you map out your key resistance and support areas, it helps you to know where you are taking your profits. So that you don't just be in a trade and you feel like because you have gotten a good entry, then you ignore the exits. You understand? You ignore the exits. So stop loss that's 28 pips. So now how do we hop in on this trade? Hoping on this trade, we'll be using confirmation entry. I need to see GBPUSD when market opens, mitigate this zone, right? So now you can see the pattern price has been coming here. You can see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So I want to see GBPUSD mitigate this zone. Now, if it pushes up and then continues to push it downside, then no trade. But if JPS, sorry, not JPS, JPJPY mitigate this one, they have a first push up. We might have some kind of resistance here, pushes down, and then it eventually takes out this high, right? So when this happens, that tells you that the pattern has changed. We're about to start going bullish. You understand? So what do you do? Then you can scale down to like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on where you can figure out with other block. And then you know your entry structure. So you need to see the structure, then see the inducement, then price come back to the other block, and then you pick your entry. So this is the kind of structure I want to see to take a trade on this particular point of interest, because there is no, why we are doing the buy is that there is no price is not, this is just the closest POI with the current market price. This is the current market price. And then what do you have here? Right here, we have a demand zone. The price should likely respect demand and then buy to the upside. You understand? But if you can't just see price, demand here, price can't just demand right here. Once price demand right here and respect this and start pushing up to the outside, giving higher highs and higher lows. Don't try to use any breaker block to sell. Remember that the daily time frame gave us some kind of what do you call it bearish engulfing candle. This actually might be suggesting sales, right? But that's a you only hold if this demand zone wasn't mitigated or if this demand zone was invalidated. If we have market to open, then invalidate this demand zone and then push it up again, then this breaker block can work. Right? As long as you figure out your inducement and stuff like that, then this breaker block can work for price to continue in direction. But if the demand zone holds, if price demand here, once price demand here, then every other resistance or supply you try to set from here will be invalidated until price comes back to this major or the external resistance. I don't know if it's making sense. You understand? So that is just how to approach the market. First of all, you find out the points of interest, right? So this is a point of this is a turning point, a strong turning point on the even on the 4 hours time frame, you can be able to figure out what this other block from the 45 minutes. Now you now check what kind of action did this kind of plan score. You can see from here we had the highs, the lows, then the highs. And then what happened? Price is coming to invalidate this low, take it out, and then you're going all the way up again. So this about 1:7 ratio. Yeah, 1:7.4 is to reward. This one is 7.5 is to reward ratio. So once you make this kind of confirmation, it's a very good loss size. Take this trade and trust me, hold this trade. In a week, once we have a volatile market, a week is good enough for this stuff to happen. You understand? So that will be that for now, guys. I'll be doing analysis on other pairs like AUD/JPY. I'm still observing the USD and Euro USD. Let's know what they are trying to do actually. But for now, we are still on observing them. So that's that, guys. See you.